Good morning. We are going to move on to Google Slides. We only have a couple weeks left of school, so I wanted to make sure we took a look at this as well. So if you're not familiar with this before, we're going to kind of take a tour today, and then we'll actually get into creating a slide presentation of your own. So I just went to Google Slides here. You're going to see if you've ever created or opened and viewed another presentation, you'll actually see that visible down here in your recent presentations. These are actually all ones that I've made on PowerPoint as opposed to Google Slides, but they're in my Google Drive, so that's why they're available down there. So there is a little bit of interaction between the two programs, and you can kind of take a look at your PowerPoint presentations from Microsoft on Google if you want to store them there. You'll see up here actually some templates. So I can start a new blank presentation, or I can also use any of these options with some existing backgrounds. And if I go to template gallery here, then it's going to kind of give me some more options. And you can find others that people have maybe created themselves and shared, but that can save you some work. If you're not the most creative person in the world, you can find the templates useful. So we're going to go ahead and go to blank. Looks very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint if you've ever used it before. We'll just kind of get familiar with the layout here today, and I'll talk about themes, and then that'll kind of conclude our video. So up here at the top, we would always want to give it a presentation name. So make sure, again, it's short but relevant so it's easy for you to find when you're searching through all of your presentations. Excuse me. Up here we have basically our tabs. So you'll see a bunch of tools in here just like we saw in the Sheets version on Google. Then we kind of have what's like our ribbon down here. So we have different buttons, and they will all give you a little hint as to what they are. The left side here is called your thumbnail. This is basically just a smaller version of what you put on each slide. All right, so you can see there I added a title to my first slide, and eventually my thumbnail over there gives me just a smaller version of that. If I have a ton of slides in here, they'll all be stacked, and it gives me a chance to really easily scroll through them and find the specific slide that I might be looking for. Down here, these are called speaker notes. So this would be if I was going to give this presentation over and over and over, I might actually take notes down below, and then I can preview those notes before I give my presentation, and I could add any notes as reminders for me to make sure I talk about something specifically on that slide. So there's kind of a rule of thumb when you're creating a presentation. You want to be informative, but you kind of want to be brief as well. At the very least, what you want to do is you don't want to read word for word what is on every slide, because your audience can do that themselves. What you want to do is talk about the information on each slide, but also add some additional information so that they're getting something out of it from you, the presenter, and not just reading directly word for word. Okay, and then the final thing we'll talk about today is the themes. So I personally like to go through, create all my slides. Okay, I can add a new slide here. And I like to create all my slides first, get all the information in there. That's kind of the most difficult part. And then later I'll come in and choose a theme. All right, this theme here is called Beach Day. So if I click on that, you'll see my font changes, and some of my slides might have some color on them in the background. So this one kind of gives me a little green background here at the bottom.